What's up, y'all? It's your bro and Solo. Welcome back to Solo Music Taste, a place for old heads and new heads to come together and we just like talking about music and we vibe. You just gonna be open to a lot of this stuff if you hear, and if you an old soul, old head, as a Gen Zer, you in the right place to be, bro. You never know what I'm gonna talk about on this channel, bro, because I listen to a bunch of stuff, man. So, and I'm still listening to new stuff to this day. So, got to start my freaking timer because I'm trying to be mindful of how long I record. I know y'all heard about Clipse. Oh no, you haven't. Well, then you're not from the 757 area, then I guess. But it really shouldn't matter where you're from. Like you should know. You should know Clips. You know what I'm saying? They just dropped a new album like a couple months back, like in August. This is a comeback album after 2 decades. I mean, they came out the woodworks with a new joint. Everything produced by Pharrell Williams. Album is called Let God Sort 'Em Out. And they had like 13 tracks. These are my first thoughts, right? So some of these, really the majority of these beats are simple and a few of them were kind of funky. I feel like a lot of these beats have like more like aggression, more like we the big dogs. I mean, it fits the move for Clips and how they move and stuff like that. A lot of them that I saved on my playlist, and there's a few. It was really just like a hit or miss, man. Since the album dropped, I haven't really been listening to a bunch of these tracks. But like back around August and some of like September, I had some of these on repeat, but not as much anymore. You know what I think it is, y'all? Like for my producers that are influenced by Pharrell, like y'all know he produced a whole lot of stuff. You know, he was the part of the Neptunes duo, you know, and produced a bunch of hits and stuff from like the late 90s to like early 2000s. Dang near they produced everything on the radio. They had like the most produced hits or whatever on the radio at that time. Gone from then to now, and I guess as I got older and like figuring out some of the stuff that Pharrell produced. His production involved Neptunes is no longer, you can't touch the Neptunes. Their run of all the stuff they produced with their hands in, especially the early 2000s and getting 2010s, and like they produced like a lot. And I can go in another video with that, but yeah, it's unfortunate they are no longer a duo anymore because of some legal reasons related to the trademark or something. Pharrell was doing something, and then like Chad Hugo didn't have no say in it, and then that's kind of like where the issue was. It's basically a business related thing as to why they're not doing work no more. So and I don't even think they're not friends anymore. It's really unfortunate, man. Where I remember watching this one interview of the Clips, and like they talked about it, how this whole situation, like Clips is still cool, like Chad Hugo or whatever, but like they don't have nothing to do with like between Pharrell and Chad. Freaking sucks. Like they just not together no more. It is kind of tied to this a little bit with the album because I guess you're not gonna see Chad Hugo on the production credits. It's just gonna be Pharrell and probably maybe a few other people that he probably got to help with the album. But it was just the three of them. Pharrell and Clips, and they moved forward with this piece of work. So after 2 decades, there's probably other reasons as to why it took so long. That I don't really know about. Now, Clips has been around since like early 2000s, so I wasn't really old enough to know who they were and like listen to all this stuff, grow up and listen to the old stuff. So and probably there was probably some other like drama or whatever. I briefly saw something about like Malice and Pusha T. They did go like neck and neck at one point. Kind of crazy. Let God Sort 'Em Out will be a classic. I got like 9 tracks saved. So POV, bass trumpet, MTBTTF. I forgot what that acronym was. I would, go on genius.com and see. And then the other one, EDITDA, Glorious Bastard, So Far Ahead, Let God Sort 'Em Out, slash chandeliers, and By the Grace of God. Yeah, I might do another cut and just going through briefly on each one of these, how I felt about them. Things I noticed, how these beats was like, majority of them have like similar tempo. The structure for all of them are pretty like simple. I guess like, I think I already said this earlier. There was a lot of room made for the verses for both Pusha T and Malice to hop in. These are really long, and I ain't gonna lie, my generation is probably not too have into this album like that. We are probably not really like, yeah, this album is fire unless like you're a huge like nerd, playing on words, like real part nerd, and like y'all heard of nerd. If you don't, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. I don't think everybody's really tapped in his album for real. Everybody listen to that jerk music and like, or Jersey music or whatever, and like a bunch of other joints has been on TikTok. Birds Don't Sing. It was okay at first when I was listening. I guess this one's kind of like a hit or miss. Cause I guess I'm just so picky with drums, bro. Like I feel like this one should have had drums and like throughout the whole thing, but I can see the pattern, like the structure and the beat, cause like they were rapping with no drums. But like it's a decent intro. Then like, cause I can't remember whose verse went first or whatever, but yeah, they both rap with no drums. So like, it's all right, like sometimes rappers just do that, but I'm just like such a freaking stickler with like freaking drums. I'm like, why? Minute, maybe if you're lucky. Yeah. So Chains and Whips, man, I'm kind of tired of hearing, the same type of substance about like slavery when it comes to like